Let's talk about the future of workplace. Will we ever go back to the office? Will remote work become the permanent trend? Okay, so I think before we say which one is better, remote working environment or working in the office, we need to differentiate. There are two types of company when we discuss this. One is the startups. Startups is facing the constantly changing environment, and the medium and the big size companies, which their direction already fixed. They already know what they're going to do. They don't need to have too many changes happen every day. So these two types of companies will really decide which one is good for them. So when we discuss this, I want to focus on which one is good for which types of company. So let's just start with startups. Like I say, startups like facing the pacing is very fast. So there must be many things that change every day in a startup, and that's why they need a lot of discussion, a lot of communication across the company, so that they can make a lot of different decisions fast. And the speed is everything in startups, because if you are a startup, you means you are in a very uncertain market. Nothing is sure, nothing is firm. You need to really communicate to people in the room fast. Because if people are staying in the same room, the same office, they will really have a much better opportunity to really talk to each other. Because you may experience this, you have some certain ideas pop out into your mind, and your colleagues just stand next to you. You just go there, go the hallway and talk to them, or to grab a cup of coffee, go to their desk and just present your ideas. Oh, what do you think? This is stupid or not? Then you can have a lot of unorganized discussions, and that's things that is especially important for startups. So I think for startups, working remotely, it's not really wise. I mean, at least if when you are very small, like 10 people, 10-person, 5-person startups, it's really not good to work like a remote environment, because that kind of situation, communication is just so important. So I won't really recommend small startups to do this. When I say startups, I mean a company that under 100 people. Okay, so a lot of people, they call it startup, but they actually, in my view, if you are over 100 people, it's medium-sized company. So for medium-sized and the big companies, I think there are a lot of benefits for remote working. First benefit is you will have much large talent pool, because previously, if you are a startup they based in Silicon Valley, you can only hire people from Silicon Valley, right? And that's also very limited talent pool. And now you can hire people from around the world, which expand your talent pool to 7 billion people, which is how many times larger? Is perhaps 10,000 times larger than it originally was, right? Not to mention the salaries in Silicon Valley is skyrocketing. It's so high compared to the average salary in the world. So that will also save a lot of cost. And because the salaries is high in Silicon Valley, one of the reasons is because the strong competition. There are so many startups concentrated there, and with a very limited talent pool. That's why the salaries are just become so high. And another reason is because of a lot of people, they have high paying salaries there, living there. So the cost of living, rent, everything's high. That's why they need more salaries to survive there. So when you are medium and big companies, you can enjoy a much larger talent pool. That's important. And another thing that I want to differentiate these companies with the startups that I mentioned previously is because this such a big company, they don't really face that much changes every day. For example, Google, their core business, they already know very well. They just need to know how to execute well. So they don't need that many hallway discussions. They don't need to change direction every couple of days, because the problem they're solving, they already know what the users are. They don't need that many discussions. They still need, but those discussions can be arranged. You only need like a video call to discuss that, and those hallway conversations won't be as important. So I think for the medium and big companies, the benefits of working remotely outweigh the cost of it. So also OnePlus advantage is it save a lot of energy. And another thing is it also save a lot of commute time for their employee. You don't need to spend 2 hours on the road every day, and you can spend the 2 hours with your families, doing some of your habits. That's actually very good for employees' mental health and physical health. So they will also increase their productivity, right? The only thing you sacrifice is like a hallway conversation, faster communication, but that's the thing that big companies don't need that much as startup do. Okay, so that's my view on these two types of startup. In fact, Phil Lieben, who used to be a CEO of Evernote and now is a co-founder and the CEO of video communication tool. So they say they are paying uniform salaries across the U.S. and his dream is to pay everyone like the same level of salaries across the world, which is I think is really cool idea because he say he doesn't care where you live, you only care what you produce, right? That makes sense, I think. All right, and what I think in the future will be, a little bit of hybrid for the big companies. I think for basic level employees, it's actually very good idea for them to work remotely. But I think for those like higher executives, then maybe it's a good idea for them to rent a small office or like co-working space to work a couple of days in the office a week because for their level of executive, their job is not like an individual contribution. It's about communication. It's about talking to people, talking to investors, talking to a lot of different stakeholders. So for certain level of people, if you are like senior managers or executives, maybe it's a good idea for them to work in the office. So I think for big companies, there will be two different types of people. One is more doing more IC or individual contribution. For that kind of employees, it's really just work remotely. I think they can enjoy a better life. And for executive levels or senior managers, they can work maybe 3 days in the office a week. I think that's what the future will look like. And some people may worry about you won't be able to build a deep relationship with your colleagues. Yes, that's true. If you don't work in the office, it's nearly impossible to build a very meaningful, very deep relationship with your colleagues. But I will argue you can use the time you save from commute to join some maybe local clubs, maybe cycling clubs, juggling clubs, to build more connections with people that are around you. So you can still have enough connections that you need to maintain your mental health to stay healthy, right? Just the way you get those connections, the way you deal with those, it's different. It's different. Now people are a little bit anxious about this. It's because they're now used to this new life, and also in the COVID time, you won't be able to really join those clubs easily, right? There's because everyone's social distancing. It's not easy, so also not recommended. So in the future, when COVID is gone, at least it's controlled, you can just join a lot of local clubs or sports teams in your community. You can still build a lot of meaningful connection, just not with colleagues. With colleagues, I think most of your communication will be done via video calls. And I don't think why not. It's still, so far I think it's working well, right? unless you are at a very executive levels, like I mentioned earlier. So that's the thing that I want to my thoughts on remote work, what will happen remote work. So in conclusion, for startups, I think startups still very need people to work in the office. So Silicon Valley will still maintain its certain status in terms of startup ecosystem. And also venture capital still a lot there, because for venture capitalists, they still need to talk to people face to face. They will have be better able to judge people. So Silicon Valley will still stay in the center of the startup world, at least in the next 10 years, I think. But for startups, they will still, a lot of startups based on Silicon Valley for the starting phase. And for big and the medium-sized companies, they will start to go in for hybrid. Now it's like fully remote, but now you're still shifting a little bit like working in the office. At least for certain types of people, they will work in the office. But the office maybe will shrink the size to smaller size or shift into the co-working space. For basic level employees, they will maybe hugely stay in the remote work environment. So that's my prediction. What do you think? Leave in the comment section below. I really want to know, and I will reply every of your comments, by the way. And yeah, that's and we would like to receive more trends analysis, technology reviews like this. Don't forget to subscribe. Your subscription is really my best encouragement to make more videos like this. And other than that, I will see you next time.